There's a specific type of silence that only happens right before something explodes. The kind where everyone at the table stops mid-bite, forks frozen in the air, and the only sound you hear is your own heartbeat pounding in your ears. That's exactly what happened to me. It was supposed to be just another family dinner at my in-laws' house. Adam, my husband, was seated next to me, looking as bored as usual while his mom droned on about gluten. Across from me sat his sister, Rachel. And if you've ever dealt with someone who thinks they're smarter than everyone else in the room, that's Rachel. Let me give you a bit of context. I married into a very traditional family. They believe in a certain kind of woman. Soft-spoken, apron-wearing, always home by 5, the kind who asks her husband for permission before blinking. I was not that. I had a career. I traveled. I made more money than Adam. I didn't pretend to be less intelligent or less opinionated just to fit in. And for some reason that made Rachel absolutely obsessed with proving that I was somehow a fraud. She'd always throw tiny jabs at family events. "You're never home. Wow, another business trip. Do you even cook for Adam?" It was petty, childish. I ignored her. Until the day she decided to go nuclear. That night, we were halfway through dessert when Rachel stood up with a bright, fake smile on her face and said, in her usual sing-song tone, "I wasn't sure whether to bring this up, but I think honesty is so important in a family." My stomach tightened. I immediately knew something was coming. She pulled out her phone and turned to the rest of the family. Adam, his parents, a few cousins, even his sweet old grandmother, and began scrolling. "These are some photos I came across," she said. "I think it's important Adam knows what's been happening while his wife is away on business trips." One by one, she passed the phone around. And just like that, she dropped the bomb. Photos of me. With other men. In restaurants. Side hotel lobbies. One where a man had his hand on my back. Faces twisted. My mother-in-law covered her mouth. Adam went pale. Rachel sat back down looking smug. Like she had just dropped a mic on stage and was waiting for applause. I felt every eye burning into me. Judging me. Waiting for me to confess or cry or run. Instead, I picked up my water glass, took a slow sip, and calmly set it back down. Then I said, "Are you sure you want to do this, Rachel?" She raised her eyebrows. "Oh, I absolutely do." He nodded. "Then I hope you're ready for what comes next." Because what she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I had seen this coming weeks ago. And I didn't just prepare a response. I prepared a lesson. The whole table was staring at me. Rachel looked proud, satisfied, like she just burned a witch at the stake. Adam was silent, his jaw tense, eyes locked on the phone in front of him. I let the silence hang for a second longer. Then I reached into my bag and pulled out a thin, black folder. "Adam," I said gently, "can you please take a look at this before you say anything?" He looked confused but took it. Opened the cover. Inside was a printed photo, one of the exact same ones Rachel had shown. Me outside a restaurant talking to a man. "Now flip to the next page," I said calmly. He did. There it was. An email confirmation from our financial advisor for a lunch meeting, scheduled the same day at the same location. Right underneath it, a business card stapled to the page. The man in the photo, Marcus, not just my financial advisor, but also Adam's second cousin. Adam blinked. He looked up at me and then back down again, flipping to the next page. Photo 2. Another man, younger, arm around me at what looked like a rooftop bar. It looked bad. If you didn't know better. But I do know better. "That's Jared," I told him. "My coworker. He's married. To another man. His husband's name is Luis. They just got back from a honeymoon in Portugal. I have pictures of that too if you'd like." Adam kept flipping. Each photo, each location, each interaction, documented. Emails, calendar invites, business receipts, LinkedIn profiles, even WhatsApp screenshots. I had printed everything. Even timestamps and GPS metadata on the photos Rachel stole from my Instagram stories. Because weeks ago, I noticed Rachel viewing every single one of my stories. Every location tag. Every tag person. She wasn't just watching, she was collecting. So I gave her a trail to follow. I knew exactly what she'd do with it. And I was ready. By the time Adam finished going through the last page, the smugness had completely drained from Rachel's face. But I wasn't done. I reached into my bag again and pulled out a second folder. This one was thicker. I opened it and placed it in front of Adam. This one's for you. You've been quiet, but you deserve to know who you married. Inside were screenshots. Not of me. Rachel. Using a fake Instagram account she created to follow my personal account. Sending anonymous DMs to my friends. Trying to dig for dirt. Even commenting on old photos with burner accounts. Pretending to be concerned co-workers. I had them all traced back, thanks to a friend of mine in cybersecurity, to her IP address. One of the accounts was accessed from her home Wi-Fi. The second from the cafe she visits every Wednesday. I had location logs. But the piece de resistance. A recording. A few weeks earlier, I had left my phone in the living room while we were having tea during a family visit. The mic was on. I was in the kitchen with Adam's mom. But Rachel didn't know that. She thinks she's better than us. I'm going to ruin her. I've got enough photos. Adam won't question it. Her voice, clear as day. I played it out loud at the dinner table. You could hear a pin drop. Rachel's face went white. Adam just stared at her. His mother's mouth fell open in shock. His father, quiet until now, put his napkin on the table and simply said, "Rachel, what have you done?" Rachel opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. I calmly looked around the table and said, "You all judged me before I even said a word. Before you asked any questions. Just because she said it." Then I stood up. "Dinner's over." I stood beside my chair, calm, steady, and completely in control. Rachel was still frozen in place, her eyes darting from the voice recording playing on my phone to the folders laid out on the table like a case file in court. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. She looked for Adam, but he wouldn't meet her eyes. And then finally he spoke. His voice was quiet, even. But there was a weight in it I'd never heard before. "Rachel, I need to hear you say it." She blinked. "Say what?" "That you faked all of it. That you made burner accounts. That you followed my wife. That you lied to my family, and to me." You could feel the tension in the room shift. Her mask was cracking. She tried to smirk it off like it was a joke. "Come on, Adam. You're really going to take her side over some. Say it." That was the first time he raised his voice. And Rachel broke. "Fine," she snapped. "Yeah, okay." Followed her. I thought she was cheating. She acts like she's above everyone, and you're just too blind to see it. His mother gasped again. His father's expression turned from confused to disgusted. But Adam just looked at her like she was a stranger. "You weren't protecting me. You were trying to destroy her. And for what? Because you don't like that she doesn't act like you." She scoffed. "She's fake." "No, she's honest. And she came prepared with facts. You came with lies and screenshots you wanted to be true." Rachel stood up, furious, and turned to me. "You think you've won. You think this changes how everyone sees you." I tilted my head. "No, Rachel. I don't think I've won. I just let you lose." Her face burned with rage. I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. Because revenge doesn't always need to be loud. Sometimes silence hits harder than screaming ever could. Adam's father stood and pointed toward the hallway. "Rachel, leave." She stared at him. "Dad, go. Now." And she did. She grabbed her purse, stormed out the front door, and slammed it behind her. The house shook for a moment, then fell silent. The aftermath. Adam didn't just apologize to me. He showed up. We went to counseling. Talk. He said the words I'd been waiting to hear for years. "I should have defended you sooner." His parents changed too. I think seeing the way Rachel unraveled forced them to see who she really was, and who I really was. The smart woman. The one they underestimated. The one who never needed to scream to be heard. I still keep those folders. Not to hold on to the past, but as a reminder that no matter how someone tries to paint you in public, the truth speaks for itself. And sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't about ruining someone else's life. It's about protecting yours, with calm, clear truth, and watching theirs fall apart. All on its own. 3 months passed. Rachel. She never came back to a single family event. Not birthdays. Not Sunday dinners. Not even Christmas. She tried calling Adam once. He let it ring. His parents. They finally saw the full picture. They apologized in their own awkward, old-fashioned way. Not with big emotional speeches, but with actions. They started including me in conversations. Asking about my job, not to criticize it but to understand it. They even apologized for making assumptions about me when I first joined the family. It was subtle, but real. And Adam changed. He said something one night that I'll never forget. You didn't just protect yourself at that dinner. You protected us. From a lifetime of lies that we wouldn't have seen coming. We didn't just survive Rachel's attack. We grew stronger because of it. I still have the folders. Tucked away in my office drawer. I don't need them anymore, not really, but I keep them. Not as evidence, but as a reminder. That being quiet doesn't mean being weak. That staying calm doesn't mean you've given up. That planning your response, with precision, with truth, is more powerful than any dramatic outburst. I don't talk about that dinner often. Most people wouldn't believe how fast things turned that night. But here's the part one always come back to. I didn't expose Rachel. I let her expose herself. Asterisk, asterisk. All I did was let the truth speak, and prepared the stage for it to echo. Now, whenever I walk into my in-laws' house, something is different. They look at me like I belong. Not because I fit their mold, but because I earned their respect without ever raising my voice. And to me, that's better than revenge. That's power.